when I first came here, Peter was he's Barossan, yeah. And so he had a vegetable garden, he was a great cook, and you cooked what you caught or shot or whatever. So game, and my background was totally English. And blokes didn't go in the kitchen. I tell you what, my father barely knew where it was. And it was very much a separation, whereas here the thing that struck me was that a traditional Barossan bloke was involved in food. And so you'd see men in the butchers selecting cuts of meat. I think, goodness gracious me, my father wouldn't know a loin chop from a chump chop. And it was quite natural because, and it came from the peasant things. When you killed the pig, men had their responsibilities in the sausage making department, and women had theirs. And similarly, you grew vegetables and you'd swap. So that when I came here, the thing, I was a city girl, and it was that I knew whose hands had been in pretty well everything on my plate. Either it was Peter's, or we'd done a swap with some vegetables, or somebody had come in with some pigeons, or and the smokehouses were going around the district, and so. And I think it's when you come in, so that other people who've married, as they married in, Peter didn't, he knew no other way, whereas because I did, it's that as you have come from England and observed, and there are things that we just do as a matter of course, and you say, oh, isn't that wonderful? And you think, well, that's just what you do. And so there was this strong emphasis on preserving, because that's part of the Barossa food. We're one of the rare places in Australia which has got a regional food culture, which comes from the methods of preservation, the Silesians and the smokehouse. And that was the smokehouse, and it was salting, it was drying, and it was also fermenting. I'm on the adjudication panel for the Barossa Trust Mark, and that leaves you with some very interesting discussions about what qualifies and what doesn't. The Barossa as a region is not huge, whilst it's very fertile and it's very rich. It's more about the way you tackle things. The Lutheran cultural input, it remains, but when I see the original English settlers in that line, they've merged, so we can talk quite legitimately about a Barossan culture, which is that blending that's come. And so often some of the fiercest defenders of this Barossa way of life are people who've come to it relatively recently. Well, it's also sometimes the sort of people who've come in for one reason or another can articulate it in a way that somebody who's grown up here, particularly when I think of the life that Peter had. He was born in 1930, so it wasn't a really fantastic time during World War II to have a German name. So he had some very difficult memories from that time. So quite a few people didn't feel that sense of pride, and it wasn't until much later that there was a sense of pride in their ancestry. This is the thing I've always said, thank God we were settled by peasants here on the land, because they used the land properly, and so you didn't waste anything. You preserved the excesses, and that's, I'm sure, why wine. I've always been very grateful that it was settled by Lutherans, because as Martin Luther said, he who loves not wine, women and song, remains a fool his whole life long. And so it wasn't a Methodist. I thought, what would happen to the Barossa if it had been settled by Methodists? Not as much fun.